What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Big Show Sports Podcast. I hope everyone is having a great afternoon or a great morning, wherever you may be. So let's just jump right into it. So we know this morning we heard the news of the passing of Pittsburgh Steelers, the former Ohio State star, Washington Commanders quarterback Dwayne Haskins. It it was very bad, very bad. I'm still shocked behind the incident that took place this morning. Um, it's a lot of rumors are starting to pick up, but I'm not gonna get too much into it because I haven't yet heard of a police report yet or anything like that has been filed. So I'm just gonna leave it alone. He was 24 years old. He left behind a fiance, I do believe, and a daughter. I was rooting for him this season to hopefully be the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's touch on his NFL career right quick. Okay, in Washington, yeah, it was a little bumpy road in Washington for him. It was bumpy. It was a little crazy. So he had an opportunity in Pittsburgh to start over and possibly be the starter out of Pittsburgh. So things life happened, things happen. We can't control the outcome of our life. So I was very glad to see him play. In college, he was a great player in college. He was a star player, but I wish his NFL career was amazing. But it was okay. He was getting to where he was possibly could have been a starter for Pittsburgh. The head coach, he saw something in him, and I'm just shocked behind the sudden passing of Dwayne Haskins. So he's 24 years old, had nothing but life in front of him. And of course, I'm doing a podcast outside. It's a beautiful day. Might as well enjoy the sunshine. It's really beautiful. But we're gonna leave that alone. We're gonna wait and see if we get more details about the passing of Dwayne Hackett Jr. So let's talk about a few things today. I don't have any news or anything in front of me, kind of like I did yesterday. So let's talk about who could possibly be the best team in baseball. Yeah, baseball just started. I'm gonna get a little bit more into baseball. Right now, I'm watching my New York Yankees and Boston play. Boston is up 2-0, but I'm a big New York Yankees fan. I'm hoping that my Yankees can turn the corner this year and possibly bring a championship back home where it belongs. You know where the championship belongs. It belongs in New York with my New York Yankees. I'm also looking at St. Louis Cardinals. They got Albert Pujols back, I think, for a year. That's great to see Albert Pujols back where he belongs, right there in St. Louis. I'm a big fan of Albert Pujols. Now, my friend Joshua Bailey, he said Giants, baby. Hey, the Giants, I'm not going to say anything about the Giants, but I love their baseball field. I will say this. I don't want to get off the subject, but listen, if you've never been to a baseball game and if you never experienced it, some may argue, but the San Francisco Giants has a beautiful park. Of course, it's here to friendly. You can slap a ball at the park, but it's beautiful. It's a nice atmosphere. Um, Pittsburgh has a nice baseball stadium as well. St. Louis, Colorado. That's also here this ballpark. I love Colorado baseball field. Let's see who else has a nice one. Houston. Houston has a nice one. You can sit right off the interstate in Houston. You can't miss that spaceship. It's a nice stadium as well. Miami has one. Um, of course, New York will always be number one in my heart. Boston Red Sox. Fenway Park is disgusting. I can't stand nothing associated with Boston. So Fenway Park, whatever you want to call it, is out of discussion. But I will say this though. Watch out for the LA Dodgers. I will say this, yeah, they was loaded last year. They're loaded now. Can they get to where they want to get? They want to get to a championship as well for the Dodgers. Maybe the Giants may surprise us, but everybody keeps talking about, oh, mention Seattle, talk about Seattle. No, the Seattle Mariners is not winning anything. We're gonna stop that right now. The Seattle Mariners isn't winning anything. It's not gonna happen. It is not gonna happen in Seattle. We'll just sit back and enjoy the ride. But I will tell you, Atlanta, they may make another push to the World Series, but watch them closely. And the Chicago White Sox, the Chicago Cubs. I'm a big fan of Chicago Cubs as well. Wrigley Field, that's another place that it's historic. The same for Yankee Stadium, Dodger Stadium. It's a lot of historic baseball stadiums around the United States. So check them out. But Dodgers, Braves, maybe the Giants because of my boy Joshua Bailey, and my Yankees, of course. Maybe the Arizona Cardinals. But like I said, it's early in the baseball season, so it's just started. But I like to kick it off a little bit. But my Yankees, hopefully, they can take it all this year. I'm just saying, hopefully they can. So I want to talk about basketball. I love college basketball more than more than the NBA. Um, I love the NBA and I love college, but I watch more college. And same thing about my guy Frankie. Frankie C Sports. He's a bigger Yankee fan than I am, but I miss those guys. He's a really big Yankees, and I think he's a Giants fan too. I'm not too sure, but we're gonna have to get together one day and do a show again. We used to do a show. Uh, was it last year? We had a great show. We had a lot of viewers hitting it big time. But the uh, the NBA, I would tell you, I'm convinced right now. I want to say it again. I said it yesterday. We got to give Devin Booker some love. And of course, I'm going to talk about New York Knicks too. We got to give Devin Booker some love. This man here, he's playing out of his mind. He does it every year. But how come this man does not get talked about for the MVP? It's crazy. But again, I understand Joel Embiid. He's a monster. He's a beast. The Joker. He's a beast. He's a monster. But how about Devin Parker? Look at this man play. And J.R. Morant, now hold on, he was my MVP in the beginning of the season. He was playing spectacular. He's still playing well. How about in Utah? We got Mitchell. He's never talked about at all about an MVP. He's doing well in Utah. But Devin Booker, he's just a different beast. I understand he's playing with Chris Paul. I understand that. But yeah, I understand that. CP3, he's well, he's Chris Paul. He's Chris Paul. He he's amazing, but it's just Devin Booker is just on a whole another level. But what got me with Chris Paul, it was in the finals. Where did he go? I even said it. A lot of people said it. If this man would have disappeared, the Phoenix Suns would have had that ring, and that would have made Chris Paul possibly. I'm just saying, could that put Chris Paul over Magic Johnson as the best point guard in the league? I don't, in the NBA all the time. So he's like, maybe not. Some baby say, yeah, I like Chris Paul, but does he need a ring? Mm-hmm. Of course he needs a ring. Of course he needs one. Come on, Anthony, he needs one, but I doubt those guys even get one. But I will say this: somebody asked me something yesterday. I forgot to talk about it here on the podcast, but I'm going to bring it up now. They said, "Hey, Big Shark, tell me how old you are without saying your age." I said, "Okay." I said, "I'm gonna give you some examples right now. This is how old I am." And Frankie and Josh, don't laugh. This is how old I am. The LA Lakers was playing in the Great Western Four. Okay, to the young people that don't know, the Great Western Forum. That is basically where all the Laker magic happened right there. The Great Western Forum. New Jersey, they had the Nets. It wasn't in Brooklyn. Seattle, they had the Supersonics. And I could name you that starting five if I can go back in time. I know it was Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, Dick Shrimp, Herschel Walker. No, not Herschel Walker. What's his name? Hershey Walker. What's his name? Hershey Walker, and Sam Perkins. I think that was that original starting five for the Seattle Supersonics. And the Giants and the Jets played in the Meadowlands. Um, I'm trying to think. Houston, and Houston went back to back in '95. Was it '95, '96? And I want to be clear. I don't think Chicago won the first championship. Um, Man, in that time, that's how old I am. And the great late Kobe Bryant, he was drafted originally to Charlotte. And I I get picked on, I get talked about a lot. You know, the question was what you think about if Kobe would have been in Charlotte? Ah, was Charlotte won any championships? Um, Answer that question. I have to answer it. To be honest, I said possibly, possibly Charlotte could have won a championship if the deal would have stayed right there in Charlotte. But Kobe went on to LA, and the rest was history. And that's when Charlotte played in the Coliseum. So yeah, that's all I am. That's all I am. It's crazy watching all these guys from the '96 draft to now. That's how old I am, 35. But it's like watching Iverson coming out of college, Kobe coming out of high school. Like wow, Jason White, Chocolate Williams. I'm gonna talk about him too. Because nobody talks about him. Let me tell you, guys and ladies, you want to dribble a ball, you want to pass a ball. Look, I'm not even gonna say Kyrie Irving, one of the best ball handlers that I ever seen touch a basketball. That I ever seen. Jason Williams, White Chocolate Williams. This man could pass the ball like it was nobody's business. Yeah, Kyrie Irving's good. Magic Johnson was good. The late Pistol Pete, he was amazing. But just think what Jason White Chocolate Williams done with the basketball. People, if you don't believe me, go on YouTube, watch this man dribble the ball. Watch he's just spin the ball. Amazing. Yeah. Kyrie Irving, he was he's spectacular. But I have to say, Jason Williams was just special with that ball in his hand. He could work magic. But that was then. That tells you that I'm old. If I could sit up here and tell you how good Jason Williams was, Gary Payton was. Speaking of Gary Payton, I want to talk about a story I've seen on YouTube. The debate with Jordan and Scottie Pippen will never die. It will never die. It will be talked about in years to come. You look at Jordan, you look at Scottie Pippen, great athletes, of course. I give you that. Now, here's the more better question. Um, who was better? Was it Jordan or the Scottie Pippen? Yeah, that is a debate can go a long way. Now, before I get to that, I want to say this: the Jordan and LeBron James conversation is dull. It's dead. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to everyone else around the world, but when you sit here, you watch Jordan play, you watch LeBron. Yeah, LeBron is a bad man. Yes, he is. I'm gonna give this man his due respect while he's here. I can't say LeBron James is a bad player. The LeBron James that I want to see was the LeBron James that was in Cleveland the first time. That LeBron. You bring that LeBron James back. Look, we wouldn't be sitting up here talking bad about this man. If you don't believe me again, all you gotta do is go look at YouTube, look at LeBron James when he was in Cleveland the first time. Look how aggressive he was. Look how dangerous he was. That LeBron, I don't know where he went, but I can't compare LeBron and Michael Jordan. I just can't do that. And you see people do that nonsense all the time. You know why? Because they don't have nothing to talk about. We're not. I'm not going to discuss it anymore. But I realized and I learned, hey, that's not even a comparison. Now, could you compare Jordan and Kobe Bryant? All you got to do, people, is just look at the game. Look how these guys play. And you can compare Jordan and LeBron, I mean, Jordan and Kobe Bryant. But back to my Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen debate and argument. You could argue this forever. I heard somebody arguing about these two guys for 3 hours straight the other night. I sat back and I listened. I don't I'm the type of guy I will sit back and I will hear you talk. I will hear both sides of the story. And these guys basically said this. Okay. It's some things that Jordan did better than Scotty. And it was some things that Scotty did better than Jordan. Now, back to the Gary Payton interview on YouTube. Gary Payton said this. It came out of his mouth, not my mouth. He said, Phil Jackson called a timeout because Gary Payton was giving Jordan fits. We know Gary Payton was a great NBA point guard. We're not even going to argue that. We're not even going to debate he's not, but he is. He said Phil Jackson called a timeout. Okay. He said, came back. The timeout was over. He looked. Scottie Pippen was on him. He said, man, I've never seen that before. He said, man, Scotty locked me down half most of the game. That should tell you something. That's not coming from me. That's coming from the horse's mouth. Now, was Scotty better than Jordan? We all have our own opinion. Yeah, I think he was. I do. But of course, everybody in the world is going to say, oh, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan. Yeah, that's them. But one thing, listen, Big Shot don't always go with what everybody else thinks. You have to go at your own mind. Maybe that's why sometimes I put myself in positions, but I get out of them. So, with that being said, you have to understand. You have to understand the game of basketball. I understand the game of basketball, but that's just my honest opinion that Scottie Pippen to me was the better player than Jordan. Now, do I agree with Scottie Pippen's nonsense and his talking bad about Michael Jordan? No, I don't. I don't. I don't. I don't agree with that at all. I think Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen should have one of the best relationships outside the game of basketball. I really think these guys are. I thought that they had an awesome relationship, but you can't just get out there on national television just just throwing this man out there like that. I don't think Jordan would do that to Scotty. I just don't see that. But I'm just saying a lot of things that Scotty's saying. I have to go back and like, no man, be quiet, Scotty. These guys should have the utmost respect for for one another. I really do think that. I will say that until the day I'm gone. These guys should have the utmost respect for each other because look what y'all did together. Y'all won championships together. But that's just right. That's how it is sometimes. You know, we know who was one of the most dominating centers of all time in the NBA, and that's Shaquille O'Neal. We can't even debate that. I guess we know that's a fact. We know that is a complete fact that Shaquille O'Neal will be will be and the most dominating center of all time in the NBA. You can't really debate that one at all. You know, because the Orlando Shaq was something serious. You know, that was a monster. The Orlando Shaq. And I say this also, I'm not ashamed to say this. Do Dwight Howard belong in the NBA Hall of Fame when his career is all said and done? Yes, yes. He has the stats for that. He has the resume for that. So yeah, he's going to the Hall of Fame. I know that was a question. I miss a lot of questions because I don't really be on my page as I should. But yeah, of course, Dwight Howard should go into the Hall of Fame when his NBA career is all said and done. So safeties, when you think of safeties, who do y'all think of when you think of a safety? It could be a strong safety, it could be a free safety. But besides Sean Taylor, rest his soul, Ronnie Lott, Jason Sehorn, Rod Woodson, Delta O'Neal, that safety list can last forever. It can just go all the way. But I want to talk about Bob Sanders for a quick second. And that's another thing on age. When the Colts was playing in the RCA Dome, remember that the RCA Dome? That it was so little, but the Colts fans packed that game out every game. Bob Sanders. If you don't know who Bob Sanders is, YouTube him up, look him up. He was a great safety for the Indianapolis Colts, but the injuries stalled his career. He was a star in Iowa, but got to NFL. He had some good years, and here comes the injury. Here it comes. Here it comes, and it stalled his career. But the greatest safety of all time, and I'm going to have an all time show real soon. Once I get my setup back to where I want it, the greatest safety of all time. It's not an argument there. It's the great late Sean Taylor. I never had the opportunity to see him play in person, but TV did justice for me. TV did justice for me. I, I want to go on a limb and I want to say this. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. In my lifetime, in my lifetime, okay, we will not see another player like Sean Taylor. If we do, if we do, I gotta see him right now. Sean Taylor. Y'all seen how big this man was? Did you see how big this man was? I'm going to say it again. In my lifetime, we will not see another Sean Taylor. If you want to be like Mr. Sean Taylor, you better start hitting that weight room every day. You better be a ball. You better beat to that ball, but man, you better be a monster. You better start in junior high. You better start right now. If you're 13, 14, whatever age you may be, You want to play safety? Look at Sean Taylor. I don't care what you say, Ed Reed. I don't care. You want to be something? You seeing how hard Sean Taylor hit those people? Son, listen to Big Shaw. I don't know everything in the world, but I do know this. They said, they said his former teammates and people he played with, when he hit you, it felt like you got hit by a freight train. That's how hard he hit. He was a big dude. He was about six something. But again, I'm not making stories up. You had to be there in my time to see these great players. I don't know what we have now. I don't know I don't know what football that we're playing now. Back to the age. I watched football when football was football. Whatever we're playing now, I don't know what it is. I don't understand. Remember that hit when who was the Tampa Bay player? He laid out Robert Griffin III, put him to sleep right there. That was football. I don't know what this crap is now, but I always said, man, Sean Taylor was making plays when he was a rookie. When he was a rookie, this this is how good he was. Rookies on the defensive side of the ball, came in and made an intimate impact on his team, like Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor, again, was a big dude. Just think if he was still playing today. If he was still playing today, I'll tell you what, he's going straight to the Hall of Fame. I think he would have been about 35, something like 35, maybe 36, sometime around there. I could be wrong. His career probably would have been getting ready to wind down. But I think, man, every day I look at that, I say, man, Sean Taylor, man, this dude was amazing. This Sean Taylor, man, amazing safety. But yeah, I know Ed Reed was good too. He was the ball hawk. But it's just something about Sean Taylor that I just sit back and and amaze. So I want to talk about LeBron James one more time. He's in his prime. If if I would say LeBron James is not a great player, I would be lying. I wouldn't be telling the truth. If I say LeBron James is not as physical as he once was in Cleveland, that's the truth. I don't think he's much as physical and as dominating as he was in Cleveland. But LeBron is great. It's just the fouling and the fakeness of the NBA right now. Now, I gotta give this man his flowers while he's here. LeBron James, he's gonna go down as one of the greatest basketball players in the entire NBA. We have to admit that. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate the guy at all. He, the comments that I see from people basically saying he's horrible, he's not a good player. I can't say that. I can't say that. He is a great player. He can show you that he's a great player. If 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 LeBron really wanted to, we've seen this happen. LeBron can take over a game. Okay, we know this. That's a fact. We know LeBron can take over a game. But who complements LeBron's game? I'm gonna tell you this player right now. But it ended I wish it didn't. I wish these guys would have just stayed together and handled their business and just shut up and played basketball. Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. Man, those two played amazing basketball together. But the egos got in the way. Somebody had to go. And it was Kyrie. He had to go. Now, you get that same LeBron back because he's coming back next year. This is this is not over for LeBron James. This man, let me tell you, LeBron can probably, possibly play till he's 40. I can see LeBron playing until he get into his 40s. I know he wants to, get in there with his son. We're gonna see, but I can see LeBron possibly playing, possibly. You know what I'm saying? Possibly play into his 40s. Right? Like I said yesterday, the Lakers are gonna have to dig real deep in their pockets. Who can we get, and who do we need to get rid of? You know who you know what you got to do. You know what you got to do. It may hurt you to do it, but you may have to just tell Anthony Davis, you got to go. You may have to tell Russell Westbrook, you got to go. Derrick Rose is out there. He can still ball. Okay? He can still ball. But I know the NBA playoffs is getting closer. That's what I'm waiting for. The NBA playoffs is right around the corner. Now, I'm going to give you my sleeper pick. Who to watch for in the West. In the West, of course, is going to be Phoenix. Watch out for the Phoenix Suns in the West. The sleeper team is Golden State. Okay. In the East, it could go either way in the East. The old Boston Celtics, they woke up. So in the East, I'm not. I'm gonna go with Miami. I'm gonna go with Miami in the East. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with Milwaukee. But Chicago can possibly come in and undercut that. But we're gonna see once the NBA playoff seeding and everything is set. In that discussion, that's gonna be a discussion later on. But college football, I want to touch on that before I go. Now, the teams to watch for is never try to talk college football. It's never too early for that. Now, when you talk college football, we can talk. That's my language. All right. Now, in the ACC division, there you got your powerhouses. You got your Miami Hurricanes. You got Clemson. You got among other schools. Now, it's spring practice. Everybody's getting tuned up. But my team to watch for in the ACC is going to be Clemson because Clemson has to rebound. They might have a little quarterback competition here and there, but I'm looking for Clemson to rebound this year. Pac-12, of course, I picked USC, and I'm going to stick by the USC Trojans. They must fight, 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 fight to handle their business and take over the Pac-12. I am a big USC Trojans on the low fan. I'm not gonna lie. I hope that football program can get back to dominance again. So I'm going with USC. Now, Oklahoma, no. I'm gonna go with Oklahoma State. Michigan, watch out for Michigan, but I'm gonna give Penn State another opportunity to prove to the world that they can win some games. Listen, people, Penn State is a dark horse. They play in the middle of nowhere. But watch out for Penn State. You can say that Big Shaw told you. Watch out for Penn State and the SEC. I was told, hey, can you pick a team besides Alabama? Please. Can you pick somebody besides Alabama? All right. All right. I can do this. I know I can. I feel like I can do this. I'm gonna pick a team besides Alabama. Okay. Only because I'm picking this team only because I believe in them. I I sympathize for them. One of my favorite quarterbacks played in this school. I went to 3 games in this stadium. They have some loyal, diehard fans here. It's a beautiful state. I'm gonna go with the Tennessee Vols again. I'm giving Tennessee Vols that opportunity again. Please, Tennessee Vols, don't let me down again. Neyland Stadium is crazy loud. We're going to talk about the loudest stadiums in a minute. But Tennessee Vols, please don't let me down again. Every time I go at Tennessee, they show me who they really are. So tighten up, Tennessee. All right. Now, my other school that I'm going to pick out in the SEC, the SEC is, of course, the best college division in all college football. So hey, it's going to hurt to even say this. All right. I'm going to give LSU that only dire chance that I must get. LSU has work to do. Okay? You know who Brian Kelly talked to before he took the LSU job? Do you want to know who he talked to? He talked to Nick Saban. Imagine that. Now, you got to win at LSU. You got to win in Florida. You got to win at USC. You got to win in Oklahoma. You got to win at Georgia. You got to win at Clemson, Miami, Florida State. You got to win at these schools, or you will not have a job. Plain and simple. So, what can Brian Kelly do to bring those diehard fans and sell out Tiger Stadium, get that stadium rocking, win games, recruit, 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 recruit is the name of the game. You can recruit, you get those guys believing in your system and believing in you. Yeah, he's a big name coach. And guess what? You're going to get back to your winning ways at LSU. You're going to get right back into the glory of LSU Tiger football. And again, what do they do at LSU? They win. They win and they win. That's the winning ways in Baton Rouge. You have to win. You can't lose these games. You have to win. I'm not gonna hold y'all much longer. I know y'all are tired of hearing my voice for the last 2 days. But if you want to win, you want to get that championship, you want to seize the moment, you just gotta pick Alabama. You you want to win. You know what you gotta do. You know it. You can smell it. And I can smell it all the way from where I'm at right now. But LSU is a winning program. A winning program is at LSU. Okay? Get over the hump. Regular SEC championship back to Baton Rouge. Can it be done? Of course. It can be done in the first year. It can be done the first year. I've seen weirder things happen in college football. Hey, you can't count nobody out. You can't even count out Vanderbilt. But again, I want to say again, congratulations to the lady South Carolina Gamecocks for their championship that they won. I want to just throw it out there again. So that is it. I don't think I have nothing else to speak on. But it is one thing. Let's talk about the loudest college football stadiums around the world. Listen, it's not LSU. Let me tell you, you got to go out there to Oregon, okay, where the Ducks play out there in Eugene. Hey, let me tell you, those people, you're gonna need a hearing aid after you leave that stadium out there. Michigan's loud. Um, but the way their stadium is built, Michigan, the noise actually leaves, but it's loud. Um, the Ohio State, the horseshoe's loud. By the way, their stadium's built, it keeps the noise inside. Um, Bryant Denny Stadium's loud. Um, Penn State, Florida's intimidating. When this stadium, that capacity, it can be loud also. Florida State, Nebraska, you can feel it. Nebraska, West Virginia, uh, Clemson, they're also loud at Mississippi State with the Cowbells. It can be loud. Ole Miss, basically almost every SEC stadium when packed out can be intimidating. But hey, that's it for me, folks. Like I said, I know y'all tired of seeing my face, but look at me soon. I will be on the Off the Ball network real soon. My podcast will have a new home right there once I get everything set up correctly. But anywho, I'm gonna be right here. I will be back tomorrow. I'm gonna just start coming on every day from now on until y'all are tired of seeing my face. But that's it, everybody. I hope y'all have a great and beautiful day. Back to work tomorrow for me. Y'all have a great Sunday. I will see y'all tomorrow. And again, let's keep Mr. Dwayne Hackins Jr. and his family, his fiance, and his daughter, and in our prayers today. The Ohio State, they did a great job with their statement today. The Pittsburgh Steelers did an outstanding job. A lot of players, I know it's still getting to a lot of players out there in Pittsburgh. When you lose a teammate, you lose a brother, you lose an uncle, cousin, you lose somebody in your family. Especially like this, it's a tragic situation. Um, like I said, I don't have any more details on that, but to his family and everyone else out there, uh, man, it's hard to see that when a parent loses a child, a wife loses a husband, vice versa. It's just hard to see them go away. But my heart goes out to his daughter, to wake up without a dad anymore. That's heartbreaking. And one more other thing, we have to be mindful and be careful what we write about these athletes. They're they're regular people just like us. But I saw a comment, one big time sports broadcaster. He put something out there about him. I'm not gonna say it. It was very disrespectful, and it's still out there. You can delete it. It's still out there. He deleted it, but I trust his word. But I didn't trust. I didn't like what I saw when I woke up this morning about what he said about the late Dwayne Hackins. That was very bad timing on what he said. And if you don't know what he said, you can probably still find it. But the man that leaded it, I'm not gonna say his name out there. I don't do name dropping, but we just have to be mindful and be careful on what we say about people. And it's just bad timing, and it's a horrible situation. Hopefully, I think maybe someone told him about that comment, either take that off or whatever. But again, my heart and my prayers go out to the Hankins family. He was only 24 years old. Man, that was young. But it's very heart wrenching to even talk about it. So, but I'm off. But again, my prayers and my thoughts is with the Dwayne Hankins Jr.'s family. Young man lost his life. We all don't know. It's speculation. So I'm just gonna let it speculate. But again, horrible situation. Lost life at 24. I hope everybody enjoy the rest of their Saturday and be careful. Don't drink and drive, people. I want to get off. I want to say this one more time when I'm going. Please don't drink and drive. That's all I see. I see people drinking and driving every day, and they think it's cool, they think it's sweet, and they think it's cute. But it's not cute when you wind up damaged around a light pole, your car, you're dead, because you're drinking and driving, trying to be cool for a girl and all this stuff. So when you're at home, you're on the road, get a designated driver, get somebody out there to drive for you, put down that beer bottle. Thank y'all very much for listening to the Big Soul Sports Podcast. I will see y'all tomorrow.